everybody, today we will deep dive into more theories about the man in yellow and who he could possibly be. In my previous video, I talked about how he had similarities to an entity from a book called The King in Yellow that was written in 1895, but today let's talk about other things that he could be. Now for my first theory, I want to talk about how the man in yellow could be a golem, but before we get into that, let me explain what a golem is. So they come from Jewish folklore, but they are a creature made of clay or the earth, and they are magically brought to life, but they are used to protect things and people. Most of the golems that we see today in movies and games are what they are based off of. But originally, creating a golem was a way for medieval Jewish mystics to come closer to God. And also the golem assumes the role of an assistant on a specific mission. Now the reason I think that the man in yellow could be one is because when we take a look at his clothes, it looks like he has dirt all over them, and is even covering his face as well, like he came right out of the ground. It could explain how he was able to appear where Jim was, because it doesn't make sense that he would target him, because he was not the one to play the instrument in the first place. I think he was just collateral damage because Jim was there when he rose from the ground. But my other reason is when the show reveals him, he says that knowledge comes with a price. And the thing that the man in yellow is protecting could be the knowledge of how to leave the town. Unlike my last theory about him, this one would mean that he is not the entity that the children were sacrificed to, but someone or something else. Maybe Jade and Tabitha and even Boyd could be next on his list of knowledge because of what they all know. Now, since many of us think that he is not the main entity, he could have been the first monster to be created by the entity to hunt in the town, but over time maybe he earned the entity's trust and it was granted more powers like being able to walk in the sun or even to know what's going on around all times in the town. But with these powers in general, it changes everything for the townspeople. They would have to dramatically adjust by not even going outside now. I think that the man in the yellow even has more tricks up his sleeve. I think that he will be able to ignore the talismans, and maybe that's why they introduced those poles in season 3 with the heads on the stick. I think that those might be what could ward off the man in yellow. And as we know, Martin did tell Boyd that there are even worse monsters, so hopefully they will have these to ward them off. And Ethan could be the man in yellow as well, because throughout the whole entire series of From, we do see Ethan wearing yellow many times. It's like the writers might have been hinting at something all along, or maybe it's just a coincidence. Ethan also uses that storybook of his like it's a survival guide, so he could be, or maybe Ethan could be, the future version of the man in yellow. He could also be a story walker just like Julie, or it could be another type of connection. Like maybe when we see Ethan wearing yellow, maybe that's when the man in yellow is in control of him, or at least looking through his eyes to see what's going on in the town. And that could be another reason of how he knew Jade was playing that song. But it might be a chance that the boy in white and the man in yellow have some sort of connection as well. As for right now in the show, we see the boy in white as a force of good and the man in yellow the direct opposite. But I'm thinking that they are the same person. The man in yellow could have been the boy in white this whole entire time pretending to help the townspeople, but really he could just be setting them up with whatever agenda that he has. When Jade plays the song, when we actually see the man in yellow, he had to intervene himself to stop them from getting too far, as we see in episode 9 of season 3, that the boy in white seems different, like his personality has shifted, and he also looks a little different as well. He told Victor that things are changing and that he couldn't help Victor, maybe because the man in yellow has control of him now, and if he did, that would mean that he could find out anything that the boy in white could be doing, so that's probably why he told Victor no. Also, there's a chance that after playing the song and understanding what Ankui means, Tabitha and Jade now probably know who the man in yellow is, or maybe what he is. We see back at Victor's family home a bunch of pennies that Miranda had made, and one of them is the man in yellow. Probably won't be revealed immediately, because it seems like the man in yellow is trying to break Tabitha down so he can stop her from revealing the truth of the town. And I think that's the reason why he took out Jim, is to break Tabitha down. And lastly, the From community has been talking about it could also be Randall. With everything that has happened to him, I didn't want to leave this one out, but he has a scar in the same place that we see in this picture that Miranda drew of the man in yellow. When he was taken by the monsters, why did they not kill him? I mean, we definitely know that the monsters are trying to break Boyd, but I think something more happened when they took Randall. Hello again everyone. Today I wanted to theorize and speculate on Randall and what could be going on with him. We've seen Randall since season 2. He's been struggling with the cicadas and some other problems as well. So let's get into it and see what we can find out. To start off, we know that Randall is a hothead and he seems very angry all the time, but maybe he's hiding that to not show his actual scared boy persona. And at least for right now, we know that he does not have a prior connection to the town, so we can probably guess that he is not a original resident. But in season 2, the town gets taken over by the music box monster, and people were getting harmed in their sleep, and some people were even killed. But Marielle, Julie, and Randall were having seizures from it, and their eyes would also like all white over, and they were also attacked by cicadas in their sleep as well. But after Boyd broke the music box, it all stopped for them except for Randall. In season 3, we get revealed that he is still being haunted by the cicadas, and right now, the only thing that we can take from this is that Boyd destroying the music box did not stop the effects at all. We also learned in season 3 that Julie and Marielle are also still having some lingering effects from the music box monster that took over them. But I want to ask, do you think it's a bad thing that Randall is still hearing the cicadas? Because we see in season 3 that Julie, when she walks inside of that threshold area, she figures out that she's able to time travel basically, and also in that room when she goes in, she can see herself, Marielle, and Randall in there. So maybe they all are story walkers and not just Julie, but that hasn't been revealed to us yet. And when they arrived there the first time, it was just Julie and Randall was a little scared to go in because he said he gets a pretty weird and bad feeling from the place, so he's decided to leave, and Julie kind of stays and just looks at the place for a little bit as well. So maybe it is a good thing that he didn't go in there. Maybe it's some change or something bad could have happened to him. Maybe I don't really know, but we'll see hopefully in season 4. But now let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and that's the drawing that we see here of the man in yellow, I would presume, but also it has the same facial scar that Randall gets when he is attacked that one night when Boyd decides to leave him. But here in Miranda's picture, the resemblance to Randall is very much there. We can see that he has the same buzz cut and big ears that Randall has, so maybe this is a version of the man in yellow from the past, and eventually in this cycle the man in yellow or Randall will become the man in yellow. Or could Miranda be trying to say that his mind is being controlled by the man in yellow, and she could just be trying to put that in some type of artistic way here that we can't really understand? But we see in the scene where he does get taken by the night monsters, they say that Randall is ours now. So is that what they could mean by that he is now part of the town, and eventually he might evolve into the man in yellow? But we really don't know what really happened to him that night, and Randall hasn't really spoken about it as well. He does seem a little shaken up after all of it though, because he wants to not sleep in the van and sleep in the hospital now. But that could be a way to get in there and hurt the people in there or let the monsters in at night. We'll have to wait and see in season 4. But maybe in season 4, we can expect Randall to maybe be a hero of the town, because he has been observing and studying the monsters throughout season 3 since he's been stuck in that van. And he's said he's been learning how they walk through the night and their patterns that they do. And he talks about how one of them always hums to him for several minutes before walking away. And if they're choosing not to kill Randall whenever they capture him, maybe Randall can learn a little bit more about the monsters, even find a weak spot for him to be able to kill him easier without them having to get the bile from him. And lastly, Randall could be turning it into the same type of monster that the man in yellow is, and we're not too sure what the man in yellow is capable of completely, but we do know that he has a sense of everything that goes on in the town, and also that he can walk during the daytime as well. And it's speculated that he can also story walk as well. So maybe Randall could do all of that, and if that's the case, it makes it a little bit more concrete that he might be the man in yellow. But what do you think about all these theories? Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the boy in white to see if he's good or bad or not. So let's just get right into it. In the TV series From, the boy in white is a mysterious character whose true nature remains ambiguous throughout much of the series. He appears to guide and help certain characters such as Victor and Ethan, but his motives and origins are unclear when he speaks to Tabitha and Sarah. Sarah even questions if he is even a little boy. While he doesn't seem overly evil, his actions and presence raise questions about whether he serves a greater purpose tied to the town's sinister forces or if he has his own agenda. The show thrives on its eerie atmosphere and intrigue, so the boy in white's true alignment, good, evil, or something in between, has been left open to interpretation. Do you think he's evil, or do you see him as a potential ally for the characters? The first time we see the boy in white is in season 1, episode 2, when he's standing outside of Ethan's window, and at that point he just stares at Ethan and waves, which still feels creepy but doesn't seem to scare Ethan. Later on, Ethan tells Victor that he has found a friend in the boy in white, and which Victor seems almost jealous. He tells Ethan, tell him Victor says hi, almost feeling like either Victor hasn't seen him in a while or Victor just doesn't want to be left out of this new friend group. Either way, we find out at this moment that Victor has been seeing the boy too. So let's talk about it. Is he evil, or is his purpose to save the people from the evil entities in the town? In season 1, episode 4, Victor said that the boy had been gone a long time and now he's back. Why did he come back? Victor said the first time he saw the boy in white is when the 2 cars came. This is the same way the Matthews family arrived in season 2. Coincidentally, Ethan and Victor are walking inside the woods in season 1, and they follow the boy in white as he leads them to the faraway tree. This is our first introduction to the faraway tree. But what was the reasoning behind leading them to the tree? Later that day, Victor starts remembering the boy in white guiding him through the massacre. It just seems suspicious that he would want Victor to remember this devastating event. Then that evening, Boyd invites the family to dinner at the diner, and Sarah gets the message to kill the boy. Strangely, all this happens once Ethan and Victor see the boy in white, especially after Victor said he hadn't seen him in a long time. Was the boy in white trying to warn them of something to come, or did he bring evil with him when he came back? It should be said that Sarah had already started killing before the boy in white came back, so maybe he did come back to protect Ethan from what was making Sarah kill. Or maybe he does have evil intentions. Maybe when he came back, that's what started Sarah's killing spree. Maybe the entity wrote on Sarah's arm to kill the boy, but it was meant for the boy in white, and she confused it with Ethan being the little boy and trying to kill him. Then there was a time that Victor said to go in the tunnels and Tabitha would be in there. Nothing positive really came from them being in the tunnels, so why did Victor go down there? Telling Victor to go in the tunnels potentially puts his life in danger, knowing that's where the monsters sleep. Was the boy in white trying to distract Tabitha from what she could have uncovered before Victor showed up? The same can be said when the boy in white tells Sarah for her and Boyd to go into the faraway tree. He said you'll be safe. Although they were safe, Boyd was transported to a dungeon-like portal and was said to have brought a powerful evil entity back with him when he escaped. Now let's take a look at when Tabitha encountered him. Tabitha goes to the tower to save the kids, thinking that it would save everyone from having the seizures, but as she climbs it, she finds herself at the top, and then she looks out, and then behind her the boy in white pushes her and says, "I'm sorry." What was the reason for this? It really could be anything. And also, back when Tabitha was in the real world after falling out of the tower, she sees him again and then chases him into a store, but it turns out to be the kid wearing all white. Not the kid, but a different kid. Was it a shot to get Tabitha to remember her past cycles, or did the boy in white have evil intentions? Let's break it down. So we know that the boy in white apologizes before he pushes her. What? I'm not too sure. It could be because she was put in the hospital from the fall out of the tower, but then she eventually gets her full memories back as well. On the other side, the boy in white maybe wanted to start some more commotion in the town. When Tabitha came back, it led to Acosta killing one of the townspeople on accident, and even Julie and Ethan were greatly affected with thinking that their mom could have been dead that whole entire time. So let's speculate the boy in white now. The boy seems to be neither good or bad, but it does look like he's going on his own agenda. In the early seasons, it does look like he wanted to help, but in season 3, when Victor asks the boy for help, he tells him no and says that he's already tried that with Christopher, but he didn't listen. Was the boy in white corrupted by something in that scene, or was it the man in yellow in disguise? If you've seen my man in yellow video, we talked about a book that I think the writers took a lot of inspiration from to write the character, the man in yellow. But in the book, it says the character is called the King in Yellow, and he can have multiple faces. So I'm thinking it could be one and the same. And I'm not saying this to persuade you one way or another. I just want to start some more discussion on what is the boy in white and what his true intentions could be. After the last couple of episodes of season 3, we learned that Jade and Tabitha are reincarnations of their previous selves. So let's try and find out if there are anyone else that's as well. So I wanted to start with Abby, who is Boyd's wife, and I want to start with her because out of their family, I think she's the who seems connected to the town. And in the flashback that we see in season 1, we see Abby is staring off in the distance, and Ellis asks her if she's alright, and she says that she remembers a dream that she had when she was a child. So we can probably assume that she's here probably in a previous cycle, in a past life, and she had to be one of the ones that did not sacrifice their kids as well as Jade and Tabitha. But initially, after seeing Acosta and after finishing season 3, I thought that she could be the reincarnation of Abby, but I don't think that's the case. I think that she is probably like someone else. I think that she could be like tied or connected to Abby somehow, but not the reincarnation of Abby. Her and Abby both have a lot of similarities as well, like both being in, well, Abby was in the military and Acosta is a police officer, and they both almost kind of have like similar personalities from the little bit that we've seen of them both so far. But I definitely do not think that Acosta is the reincarnation of Abby, because Abby died like 2 years ago in the show, and Acosta seems like she's in her late 20s, like early 30s, so their ages would not really match up for her to be the reincarnation of Abby. But who do y'all think Acosta could be? Let me know in a comment. And as for Boyd and Ellis, I don't think that they have previous versions of themselves. I think since they are connected to Abby, they were brought in the town as well. And the same can be said for Miranda, and she is Victor's mom, and we know she had many visions of the town because we can see all of her drawings, and even some of her drawings have like pictures of people wearing like very old style clothing. So she could be from that. She could be remembering like times from that cycle, like the very first cycle. But Eloise and Victor were also dragged in this with her, and unfortunately we don't have a flashback scene like we did with Abigail and Boyd and Ellis, but there's a little bit of stuff that we can gather. One of the biggest possible clues for Eloise is all of her drawings as well. A lot of her drawings show like a lot of different things that have happened in the town or are around the town, and Victor does say that these are the drawings that she would draw after hearing the stories that her mom would tell her. So it could just be her just drawing from that, but it also could be that she might have a connection to the town as well, like her mom does. But for Victor, I personally don't think that he might be a reincarnation. I do think that he is just a child of Miranda, and with him being in the town the longest, he probably that's the reason why he knows the most about everything. But we also have Tabitha and her family, and we already know that Tabitha is a reincarnation of one of the townspeople that did not sacrifice their children. And so what about the rest of her family? Well, we can probably just go ahead and take Jim off the list, and after that leaves Ethan and Julie. But let's talk about Ethan first. We have seen him throughout the show to like have a lot of answers throughout the show for a lot of the mysteries that have gone on, and we know that he says it's from his book that he's been reading, The Adventures of the Chronicle, or whatever the title of that book is. I can't exactly remember, and it could be more than that. It could be like when Jade just knew automatically the song that just popped in his head. It could be he could have some connection to the town as well, to where he just knows these things or something. I'm not really too sure what it could be. We don't have a lot of clues just yet about that. But as for Julie, I don't think that the writers would give her so much. She already has the ability to like story walk or time travel, so I don't think that she is reincarnated either. I think this is a lot like what's going on with Miranda and Abigail, with those two being the people that are the souls that are getting reincarnated, as well as Tabitha, and they are bringing their families in to the town because of their connection to them. But yeah, I personally think that there are only like 3 or 4 people that are being reincarnated to come back and try to break this cycle or curse on the town, and the rest are just brought in because that is their family at the time. At least that's what I'm thinking. And I wanted to talk about Elgin really quick. He seems like that he could be connected to someone very important from the past, because when he arrives he is super freaked out because it's almost like he recognizes the town, and he starts to freak out, and then he vomits in the van as well. And after all that, he seizes and stuff like that. He goes through a lot in those like beginning of episodes when he gets introduced. But he also says that his his grandmother created like totems and other things to ward off like evil spirits and stuff like that. And it made me think, could she be the person who made the talismans, or maybe even the ones who created those totems that we see in season 3? Because of Elgin, he does have visions of the town, and every other person that had a vision of the town are somehow connected to it as well. For example, like with Tabitha, when she was young, she talked about how she had dreams of seeing these rocks, and those rocks were found in the forest of the From Town. So, and the same thing with Miranda, with all of her paintings that she had drawn from her visions as well. So if his grandma has nothing to do with it, we know at the very least that Elgin is probably a reincarnation of one of the older townspeople. But that's all that I have for you today. And do you think that everyone is being reincarnated, or is it just a few people like I explained in this video? Or whatever theory do you have, just let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching. And if you liked the video today, leave a like. And if you would also subscribe so you'll be alerted for my next videos that are coming up. But thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye everyone.